100,000 hits within a month. And so there was a lot of resonance with what we were doing. And since that time, we've published 2 books. We've a tabloid, an artist box project, and we've hosted music events, and most of it's been online, but the publications are handheld. And this event's really important to me because Lorraine became part of the advisory circle of the Embassy Culture House a year ago. And Frank is also a contributor to the Embassy Culture House through his music and through our visual arts events. And I never thought that I would, I believe in collaboration, but I never thought that I would bring together Frank and Lorraine to play together. And when I asked Frank if he could play with Lorraine at my corn roast that I do here every year, Frank said to me, "Ron, that's like asking you to do like a Richard Serra sculpture like in a month, you know?" And because Frank had to learn all the South African chords that he didn't know anything about. And Lorraine's friend, Mongezi Ntaka, out of Washington, D.C., emailed Frank the chords that he drew, and they came to Frank as an attachment. And so Frank learned South African chords so he could play with Lorraine. And so tonight, this is the second time that Lorraine and Frank have played, and Frank's going to start off doing his own legendary Union songs and African-Cuban songs, and then Lorraine's going to join him, and Frank will show you how good he is at South African chord music. So welcome. Okay.
Thanks, Ron. I'll start off with a tune that of a person that Ron turned me on to, Victor Yara from Chile. He was brutally beaten and slain by Pinochet government, but he was an artist that was supportive of the Allende government, and when they overthrew the Allende government, he wrote a lot of socially conscious songs. And then when they rounded him up and then was in prison in the big stadium, just before they killed him, the Pinochet government or the guards smashed his hands and said, let's see you play those songs now. And then they killed him. So I'd like to do the first song, and it's about a cigarette. But I think he's a great artist. Voy a hacerme un cigarrillo, ¿acaso tengo tabaco? Si no tengo, ¿de dónde saco? Lo más cierto es que no pito. Ay, 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 me quería, ay, 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 me quería, ay, ay, ay. Voy a hacerme un cigarrito con mi bolsa tabaquera, lo fumo y boto cola, me recoge la tierra. Ay, 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 me quería, ay, 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 me quería, ay, ay, ay. Thank you. Here's a song that a lot of turistas here in Cuba. I'll play a couple of songs that a lot of turistas here. Extranjeros. So this is one of the standards. I thought I knew how to play it, but there was a guy in Cuba. I don't know if you've ever heard of a guy named a Canadian guitar player named Alex Cuba. His father, I met his father in Cuba, and he showed me the proper way to play Guantanamera. So he's a real character too. We went out one morning and got a couple of chickens and brought them back alive, and his wife got, and we had them for supper. Nice. That's great. Guantanamera, Guajira, Guantanamera, Guantanamera, Guajira, Guantanamera. Yo soy un hombre sincero, de donde crece la palma. Yo soy un hombre sincero, de donde crece la palma. Y antes de morir me quiero echar mis versos de alma. Oye, Guantanamera, Guajira, Guantanamera, Guantanamera, Guajira, Guantanamera. Mis versos es un verde claro y da un carmen encendido. Mi versos es un verde claro, de un carmen encendido. Mi versos es una sierra hierro que me busca en el faro. Oye, Guantanamera, Guajira, Guantanamera, Guantanamera, Guajira, Guantanamera. Guantanamera, Guajira, Guantanamera, Guantanamera, Guajira, Guantanamera. Cultivo una rosa blanca en el junio y en enero. Cultivo una rosa blanca en julio como en enero, que me da mano franca, sincero. Oh, Guantanamera, Guajira, Guantanamera, Guantanamera, Guajira, Guantanamera. Con los pobres de la tierra quiero mi suerte echar. Con los pobres de la tierra quiero mi suerte echar. El arroyo de la sierra me complace más que el mar. Guantanamera, Guajira, Guantanamera, Guantanamera, Guajira, Guantanamera. Thank you. And of course, here's another one you'll hear a lot in Cuba. A tune called Hasta Siempre, about Fidel, an ode to Fidel. This tune I really like the music of. Aprendimos a quererte desde historia que dura, donde tu sol, tu bravura la puso cerca de la muerte. Aquí se queda la clara, la entrañable transparencia de tu querida presencia, comandante Che Guevara. Tu mano gloriosa y fuerte sobre la historia de espera, cuando todo Santa Clara se despierte para verte. Aquí se queda la clara, la entrañable transparencia de tu querida presencia, comandante Che Guevara. Vienes quemando la brisa con las soles de primavera para plantar la bandera con la luz que son cerrice. Aquí se queda la clara, la entrañable transparencia de tu querida presencia, comandante Che Guevara. Tu amor revolucionario te conduce nueva empresa, donde esperan la firmeza de tu brazo libertario. A ti se queda la clara, la entrañable transparencia de tu querida presencia, comandante Che Guevara. Seguiremos adelante, como juntos a ti seguimos, y con Fidel te decimos hasta siempre, comandante. Aquí se queda la clara, la entrañable transparencia de tu querida presencia, comandante Che Guevara. Thank you. I'd like to warn you, I think I'm going to get political here. Warning, warning. I like to do a song that I wrote a couple years ago. it was after I watched a television show, and I saw Brian Mulrooney on there. And he was explaining about the Meech Lake Accord. And he sort of said that the Meech Lake Accord fell through because of Clyde Wells, the premier of Newfoundland at the time, right? And I thought, well, wait a minute, no, that wasn't it, right? So it was actually in the Manitoba legislature that happened at first. It was a First Nations person named Elijah Harper who nixed the. It was something to do with the laws of Manitoba. So the Manitoba laws that said that they can end debate on something if it's unanimous, and they all have to vote yes. And so Elijah Harper just held up a eagle feather and said no, and that was it. That was the end of Meech Lake. But I thought, why? I don't know his reasoning why he said it was Clyde Wells, but I surmised that he didn't want a First Nations guy taking him down. So that was, but I don't know, maybe it was a different thing. But anyways, I thought I'd write a song, so just in case he heard it, it would remind him that at least there's one person that is on to you. So this has a sort of violence in it, but it's not literal violence. It's just figurative violence. It's in the chorus, and it's Elijah Harper kicked Mulrooney's ass. So Elijah Harper kicked Mulrooney's ass. Elijah Harper kicked Mulrooney's ass. Well, he kicked his ass like I knew he could, and he kicked his ass but good. Elijah Harper kicked Mulrooney's ass. In the spring of 1987, the head honchos got together. They were yucking it up at Meech Lake and all enjoyed the weather. Big old Brian Mulrooney, he rose up from his bench and he said this country Canada was founded by the English and the French. The First Nations people said, hey, what about us? And Brian old Mulrooney said, why do you group always go raise such a fuss? Leave it to us white folks, we'll figure it all. Go on back to your reservations and have yourselves a ball. What is it you do there? Do you smoke sweet grass? And Elijah Harper said, no man, I think I'm gonna kick your ass. Elijah Harper kicked Mulrooney's ass. Yes he did, yes he did. Elijah Harper kicked Mulrooney's ass. Well, he kicked his ass like I knew he could, and he kicked his ass but good. Elijah Harper kicked Mulrooney's ass. Now, Elijah Harper was a native member of the Manitoba legislature. He was a very quiet man. To be loud wasn't his nature. Together with Ovid Mercury and Phil Fontaine, they had to kill the Meech Accord, so they came up with a plan. The 11th hour down to the wire was all touch and go. And when they called the vote, raise the House rules, Elijah simply said no. The deadline was 1990 on the 23rd of June. When Elijah voted no, Meech was harpooned. slave did not pass. And Elijah Hopper kicked Mulrooney's ass. Elijah Hopper kicked Mulrooney's ass. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Elijah Hopper kicked Mulrooney's ass. Well, he kicked his ass like I knew he could, and he kicked his ass but good. Elijah Hopper kicked Mulrooney's ass. Thank you. I'd like to do a more current thing now here. But staying in the political vein, of course. There's something happening nowadays. And, oh yeah, I'd like to say that once I'm finished, you're in for a real treat, let me tell you. Lorraine Klaasen is going to get up, and she's going to blow your mind. Really. Yeah, she was born and raised in Soweto, South Africa, but lucky for us, she's living in London right now. She's performed many international world music and jazz festivals, including Montreal, and is a recipient of many awards, including a Juno for Album of the Year 2013, was it? I think so, 2013, right? Yeah, and it was a tribute to Miriam Makeba. And we'll be doing a couple of tunes off that album. So anyways, here's my my more current things. So what I'm upset about now, my latest being upset, is Doug Ford's jumping on the rights of the charter rights for the right to strike. So I mean, even corporations can't do that. I mean, to legislate people back to work, and that's a real right. Is the right, the bargaining power of the right to strike is, and it's in the charter, and using the notwithstanding clause is just some sort of weaselly thing. That so. Here's a little tune called, that I also did on this this album that I made with the support of Ron and Jamili and also the Unifor Union, and it's called Bread and Roses, a history of union labor songs. And this is an old song that was written by, oh my God, I can't. I'll have to get the album covered. But anyways, it's called "We're Gonna Roll the Union On," and what's good about it is that you can bandy your words about and make it more topical, and so. We're gonna roll the union on. 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 If the boss gets in the way, we're gonna roll right over him. We're gonna roll right over him. We're gonna roll right over him. If the boss gets in the way, we're gonna roll right over him. We're gonna roll the union on. We're gonna roll. We're gonna roll. We're gonna roll the union on. We're gonna roll. We're gonna roll. We're gonna roll the union on. If the scabs are in the way, we're gonna roll right over them. We're gonna roll right over them. We're gonna roll right over them. If the scabs are in the way, we're gonna roll right over them. We're gonna roll the union on. We're gonna roll. We're gonna roll. We're gonna roll the union on. We're gonna roll. We're gonna roll. Roll the union on. If Ford's in the way, we're gonna roll right over him. We're gonna roll right over him. We're gonna roll right over him. If Ford's in the way, we're gonna roll right over him. We're gonna roll the union on. We're gonna roll. We're gonna roll. Roll the union on. We're gonna roll. We're gonna roll. Roll the union on. If Letchy's in the way, we're gonna roll right over him. We're gonna roll right over him. We're gonna roll right over him. If Letchy's in the way, we're gonna roll right over him. We're gonna roll the union on. We're gonna roll. We're gonna roll. Roll the union on. We're gonna roll. We're gonna roll. Roll the union on. If the World Bank's in the way, we're gonna roll right over it. We're gonna roll right over it. We're gonna roll right over it. If the World Bank's in the way, we're gonna roll right over it. We're gonna roll the union on. If Starbucks in the way, we're gonna roll right over them. We're gonna roll right over them. We're gonna roll right over them. If Starbucks are in the way, we're gonna roll right over them. We're gonna roll the union on. We're gonna roll. We're gonna roll. Roll the union on. We're gonna roll. We're gonna roll. Roll the union on. Yeah, we're gonna roll. We're gonna roll. Roll the union on. We're gonna roll. We're gonna roll. We're gonna roll the union on. Hey, thank you. I think I maybe got one more sort of union song here. This was written, if I can find it, this was written by a couple of friends I made while I was doing that album, and they're from Hobart, in Tasmania, and I saw their song, this song on Google or something, and I said, I'm making this album about all union labor songs, and I said, can I phone them up? And they said, oh yeah, sure. That'd be great. And I thought it's a great song for a union people to I could just do the same thing, I think. Sort of like this, sort of similar maybe to the last one. Sorry about that. So it's hold that line, sisters, brothers, never weaken, stand and hold that picket line. Hold that line, sisters, brothers, never weaken, stand and hold that picket line. Oh, we're standing here together, one for all and all for one, and we'll keep right here on standing till our victory we'll have won. We're united in our struggle, no, there's none of us can divide, and we'll yield nothing to the enemy, 'cause we've justice on our side. Hold that line, sisters, brothers, never weaken, stand and hold that picket line. Hold that line, sisters, brothers, never weaken, stand and hold that picket line. Hold the line up against the bosses when they try to drive us back. Hold the line against the coppers and their armed baton attacks. Hold the line against the government, against all enemies of our class. Hold the line against the scabs, no, we'll never let them pass. Hold that line, sisters, brothers, never weaken, stand and hold that picket line. Hold that line, sisters, brothers, never weaken, stand and hold that picket line. Hold the line against the World Bank and against the IMF. Hold that line and keep on holding as long as we have breath. Hold the line against their dogma. Hold the line against their creed. Hold the line to save their future from their plunder and their greed. Hold that line. Hold that line. Sisters, brothers, never weak. And stand and hold that picket line. Hold that line. Hold that line. Sisters, brothers, never weak. And stand and hold that picket line. Now we're standing with the millions, reaching out across this world, and with nothing left before us, our banner here unfurled, and there's more of it beside us. If you come and join our cause, slave the lean, you all that you have lost, yeah. Hold that line, hold that line. Sisters, brothers, never weak, and stand and hold that picket line. Hold that line, hold that line. You beat, stand together, and hold that picket line. Thank you. We should bring up Lorraine now. How about it, Lorraine? Oh, yeah.
Kuba kubetha izintonga yo ayina there you go Igqirha elendlela emama nguqongqothwana Igqirha lendlela kuthiwa nguqongqothwane Igqirha lendlela emama nguqongqothwane Igqirha lendlela kuthiwa nguqongqothwane Here we go Kuqongqothwane Kuqongqothwane Sebeqabele gqithapho emama nguqongqothwane Kuqongqothwane Igqirha lendlela kuthiwa nguqongqothwane Igqirha lendlela kuthiwa nguqongqothwane Igqirha elendlela kuthiwa nguqongqothwane hayibo kuqongqothwane kuyaqhikitha amagqaba kuqongqothwane sebeqabele gqithapho kuqongqothwane kuqongqothwane Good afternoon, everybody. Now, in my culture, it's very rude when a lady says good afternoon and people do not respond. So let's pretend we did not have this conversation. Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
After all, it's Words Fest. So music, like lyrics, has got words in between, so we kind of complement each other with this festival. I would like to explain to you what the song is all about. Because this song was made famous by Auntie Miriam Makeba in South Africa. Now, the white people in South Africa could not say uqongqothwane. Don't worry, some black people can't say that either. Uqongqothwane. Now, uqongqothwane, it's a tiny little beetle that we have in South Africa that grows in among the wheat and the weeds. Now, when I perform my concerts, it's very hard to explain each and every song. But there are some songs like this one that I always like to explain. It's a tiny little beetle that grows in among the wheat and the weeds. You know how everything gets tall. Now, at home, when the mama is going into the field to separate the wheat from the weeds so she can get her corn into her basket. Now, you have to picture this. When she's going into the field, she has a baby on her back. She got 2 baskets on both sides, and she's taking the corn to put into a basket. Now, when she's in this position, the tiny little beetle is creeping up her dress. But she can't tell because of the tall grass that's also there, right? Now, remember the baby on her back? She takes another basket and she balances it on top of her head. And she takes 2 full baskets on both sides. And she's walking home. Then she notices this unusual feeling because the tiny little beetle is creeping up. Now, would you like to see how she gets rid of this tiny little beetle? I'm deaf in one ear, I can't hear well. Would you like to see how she gets rid of this tiny beetle? You know, if we're going to have a good time, we have to participate. So now, picture, remember? Basket on the head, baby on her back, 2 baskets on both sides, and the tiny little beetle is creeping up. She does this movement, and when she does this movement, the beetle falls out, she squashes it, and she goes her way. I'd like to show you what she does. Here we go. We say bam 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 bam. Oh, it's just a little, yeah. You know what? We just change it up a little bit. I want to do the song, get it out of the way, because my heart gets very heavy. So before it gets heavy, I want to get it out of the way. First, I want to say thank you so much for this wonderful opportunity. Moving from Montreal and a city like New York that doesn't sleep. But we're going to resurrect London. Lorraine is in town. So, no, I'm just joking. No, really. No. I am so grateful to be invited into your home, your private spaces, so we all get to know each other. This song I'd like to do for you is one of my favorite songs. It's actually my mom's favorite song. As you know, my mother was, she just passed away about 4 years ago, and it feels like it's yesterday. So this is a song when I was a little girl, I used to say in South Africa, when I grow up, I'm going to be just like my mommy. I'm going to sing and dance and travel all over the world and make people happy with my music. And guess what? I am living that dream. So I just want to sing this song. Also because it's in English, at least you'll understand. My mother had a good sense of humor, so it helps. So she used to say to me, I'll be lying like this on the bed, and I see her putting on her makeup, I'll see her getting dressed, and I say, when I grow up, and she'll sing the song to me. She would say, She'd say summertime, and the living is easy. Fishes, they are jumping, and the cotton is high. Tell me, is your daddy rich? What about your mama? Is she a beautiful lady like mine was? So hush, Lorraine, don't you worry, my baby, everything's gonna be alright. She'd look at me and say, my darling Lorraine, one of this morning, when you grow up, you're gonna grow up singing. And you're gonna spread those tiny little wings. You're gonna spread them into the skies. But until that morning, there'll be nothing and no one to harm you. Because your mommy, Thandie Klaasen, is here with you. You be just fine. Frank around. Nice, Frank.
Thank you.
Well, baby, 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 summertime. Like today, it kind of felt like summertime. Fishes, we see the birds, they jumping, and everybody is happy. And the cottonwood feels so high. Tell me, my mommy would say, is your daddy rich? Call me. And what about your mama? Is she a beautiful lady? So hush, shh, Lorraine, don't worry, my sweet baby. When you grow up from South Africa, I used to have holes in my shoes on the dusty streets of Soweto. But I got this wonderful gift that I have inherited from my mother. A gift that comes from our Heavenly Father, Jehovah, that really inculcated in me the respect my mother said you must have for your art. It will take you all over the world. But don't sing in English, because everybody sings in English. She said, stick to your African roots, your culture. And that has been the best advice I've ever gotten. So now that I'm done singing English, is it okay if I transition back to Africa? Woo! Thank you. So this song, Maderlands, we're going to do for you. It's a song in South Africa. There was a place called Soweto in the early 50s where the white people came and they bulldozed that area and they says, no, we want this place. Almost remind me of the story you talk about the natives. People come and they take over what's not theirs. And so they took over this place in Soweto town where my mother was born. And you can imagine you go to work and you come back and your home is no longer there. And they said, no, you all have to go to Soweto. That's how Soweto came into existence. So in Soweto, what do people do? People of color, black people, music. We laugh when we're happy. When a baby's born, we sing and we dance. When we get married, we sing and we dance. When there's a funeral, we sing and we dance. When we divorce, oh, do we ever sing and dance? That's another story. So this song is called Meadowlands. So we're going to pretend we are in South Africa, in Meadowlands. And so everybody's going to sing along because it's not like Celine Dion. We don't chant it to chill like I just did by myself. Everybody usually participates. So this is the thing you're going to know. When we do a concert in the future with Lorraine Klaasen, we're all going to be singing together. It's a community of singing together. So this one is called Meadowlands. It's almost like a little rock and roll, but it's not. Hey! Oh yeah, who trouble talks about it? Harry and go Meadowlands. Oh yeah, who trouble Harry and go Meadowlands. 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 Sitano Sam. Meadowlands. 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 Sikayala. Oh yeah, who trouble talks about it? Ha ha. On Stagni, on Spolai. Oh yeah, who trouble talks about it? On Stagni, on Spolai. Meadowlands. Okay. Now this is where we come in. When I say, let me tell you now. I know Frank wants to be the only one who sing. They also have to sing, Frank. So when I say Meadowlands, Meadowlands, it's like a call. It's Meadowlands, but white people say Meadowlands. I don't know why, but it's Meadowlands. Okay, Meadowlands. Hey! Taxi Barry, Harry, go Meadowlands. Oh, yeah, Harry, go Meadowlands. Meadowlands, 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 Sikayala. Meadowlands, 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 Sikayala. Basi Tata, Abasi Begalopam, Gossens, Pumalapa, Gusenjalo. So fire town, Basi Bege, Meadowlands, 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 Sikayala, Meadowlands, 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 yeah. Meadowlands. Oh yeah, who drama who are Harry and go Meadowlands. Yo, Meadowlands, 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 Hikayala, Meadowlands, 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 Itando Sam. little lambs, see turned oh, sun. I thought this was champagne, but it's a good one. It's Caroline. So I just want to take, I don't know how much time, just 5 minutes of my time. Give poor Frank a chance to catch his breath. So I was born in the little town of Alberton. That's where I was born. And so growing up as an only child, being surrounded with music, my mom was a jazz singer. So when I grew up, I never, can a gentleman open this? I'm struggling. See how he grabbed it? Oh, thank you, darling. Thank you. Sometimes I just do it on purpose. I could open it. I just wanted him to do it for me. And so my home, you got to picture this. I had a beautiful, loving environment despite apartheid. And because our home in Thokoza was known, as my mother was very famous, white people used to come into the township. And when the kids would see the truck or cars of white people coming, they knew they were coming to my mom's home. And you'll see the little kids also running behind the cars and, picture that as they see some people coming to visit, they're coming to my mom's home. So long story short, my mother used to open for Brooke Benton. I don't know if you all know Brooke Benton. My mom used to open for When a Man Loves a Woman, Percy Sledge. My mom performed with Eartha Kitt, all these great American stars. My mother used to be the opening act. And my mother's home, because of the children, she wanted to open what we call here a daycare. It's like a crèche. We call it the crèche, where the kids can come, and I used to make Kool-Aid and peanut butter and jam and give them there. And my mother would ask them to take off their little underwears and put them in a tub and hang them up. My job was to put with a hose pipe, hose them down. But that's the memory I have of myself in growing up in Africa. My mother, although I grew up as an only child, I never lived as an only child. It was the thing of the community, always giving and being kind. Until something tragic happened to my mom. My mom was supposed to go to Japan to perform with Eartha Kitt. They performed in Swaziland at that time. And white and black people could meet in Swaziland because it was not part of Johannesburg or South Africa, whatever part. And one day, my mom, our home, as I said, our home was a home with different musicians that would come from wherever. They always came and ate and drank in our home. Do we have a timeline? We've got to be out of this place. Okay, I just wanted, because I don't want to overstay my visit. But just this little brief story, which I think is very important. And so the different musicians would come. This particular day, my mom, it was written on the front pages, Thandie Klaasen is going to fly to Japan, and with the money she's going to be making in Japan, she wants to open this daycare center, blah, blah, blah. It was a wonderful story to tell. Well, that particular evening, my mom's best friend had a little get-together at her home. After they've been to my mom's home, my job was always cleaning after the adults. After they finish eating and drinking here, they'll hop up to Irene's place, which is a couple of doors away from my mom's place. The story goes like this, and it's a true story. I've made a film documentary of this. Someday we'll get a chance to show it, because it's still my story to tell. And so you can imagine the excitement. Everybody's happy. My mom's going to go to Japan. She's going to make all this money and make this daycare center. And as my mother arrives at Irene's home, they were playing, my mom used to have an album, an LP. It used to be called, the title was Love is Strange. Baby, love is strange. Many, many people take la, 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 la. Love is strange. I want to resurrect that song, maybe redo it someday. I first want to find out who really wrote it, because I don't know. But I remember my mom, it was one of her hit songs then. I'm talking about 1973 now. The 12th of August was a dusty day. So as my mom is at Irene's place, my mom says she hears somebody call her out, Thandie, Thandie. So as my mom gasoline, petrol, on my mom's face. I blew my mom up, And I was, like I said, a couple of doors away from there, and I could hear people, because everybody panicked. My mom is like on the door, apparently. Like when I got there, my mom was like, couldn't see. And I, as a child, I don't know where I got the strength, but I ran into that fire flame, and I pulled that's why you see I'm burning my arm here. I pulled my mother out of the fire, and we both rolled on the ground. And so my mother was now, this so-called beautiful lady was on the billboards of everything. Here's my mother in a hospital. They disfigured her so badly. And the newspapers were saying, Thandie's never going to sing again. It's the end of Thandie. You know how sensational. And then my mother, when they first interviewed, after a couple of months in the hospital, she said, they may burn my face, but not my voice. I'm going to sound better than ever. Because it's not about how you look. It's about this wonderful gift, like I said, that nobody can take away. So every time I sing and I dance, I always think as to why my mother remained. She did it for me so that she could take care of me. And when they left to go to London in 1961 with King Kong, that's 1961, before accident, she came back when Auntie Miriam Makeba with Harry Belafonte, they stayed in London, England. But my mom came back for me. So music, it's a wonderful gift. It makes us happy. It can make us sad. It evokes emotions. But either way, it always takes me back to that little girl. And so my mom was like my mirror. Everything I did, I think I saw what she went through. She was raped, she was stabbed, she was stolen from, she was burned, but she rised all the time. And so this time, when she passed away, it was cancer, nothing else. So I just thought, since it's an intimate space, we all get to know each other a little better. Because it's not a story I can tell 100,000 people. Can you imagine to be like, what is she saying? When is she singing again? She's busy talking. So I just wanted to share that story with you. And then I'll do my last song. Auntie Mira Makeba's favorite song that everybody liked. That I think the Juno I won because of that one song. But we're working on wonderful music, so hopefully we'll be back again. I'm going to South Africa. I'm working on some projects. And when I come back, I'll have another story to tell. Not so sad. It'll be a much happy story, but it's still a story worth telling. So I hope you'll continue to support us here in London. I'm with the ECH Germany and Ron, her husband, and you did a wonderful job. He came to my house, and I gave him South African tea, and then great tea, and then we had some nice chats. So hopefully we'll learn more music, and I got to know more musicians, and that's it. So I'll do my last song. It's called Pata Pata. Pata Pata means touch, touch. And if you all want to dance, you could do so. Whoop. Sakukuga sakupega, si pata pata sakukuga sakupega, nansi pata pata sakukuga sakupega, e pata pata sakukuga sakupega, iyo mama, 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 hey mama sak. Okay, you see. Those guys are having a good time. Now it's the last song. Please, let's all have a good time. Hey, 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 hey. Here we go. I like it. Hey, sakukuga sakupega, nansi pata. Sakukuga sakupega, nansi pata. Sakukuga sakupega, nansi pata pata. Sakukuga sakupega. Iyo mama, iyo mama. Iyo mama, iyo mama. Yo, mama, yo, mama. Yo, mama, yo, mama. Woo! Pata Pata like this is the name of a dance we do down in South Africa, yes. And everybody almost like twist starts to move as soon as pata pata starts to play. Sakukuga sakupega. If you're not gonna dance, at least you can sing. He pata pata. Nancy pata pata. Nancy. Hey mama sakukuga sakupega. Sakukuga sakupega. Sakukuga sakuchonga. Nancy pata pata. Sakukuga sakupega. Iyo ayo mama iyo mama. Yo ayo mama iyo mama. Yo ayo mama iyo mama. Yo ayo mama iyo mama. Woo! Now every Friday and Saturday night, woo! It's touch time. Ha. The music starts playing all night long till the morning sun begins to shine. Sakukuga sakupega, nasi pata. Sakukuga sakupega, nasi pata pata. Sakukuga sakuchonga, nasi pata para. Sakukuga sakupega. Iyo ayo mama iyo mama. Yo ayo mama iyo mama. Yo ayo mama iyo mama. Yo ayo mama iyo mama. Hey 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 hey. Woo! Ayo mama, yo mama, yo ayo mama, yo mama, yo ayo mama, yo mama, yo ayo mama, yo mama. Woo! Bum 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 bum. Ayo mama, yo mama, yo ayo mama, yo mama, yo ayo mama, yo mama, yo ayo mama, yo mama. Here we go. Bum 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 bum. Thank you, Frank. Thank you, Jamali. Thank you, WordFest. Thank you, Josh. Thank you, Museum of London. Thank you, everybody. Until next time. Thank you.